Okay, our goal today for this lesson is to be able to write numerical expressions. We need to understand that a numerical expression has number and operation signs, but it does not have an equal sign. So we have to make sure that we do not put equals in today's lesson. So we'll have the urge to say 15 plus 12 equals something, and that's not what we want to do because we're looking at numerical expressions. Let's look at our first example. Tyler and his dad caught 15 sand bass and 12 garfish. Write a numerical expression to represent how many fish they caught in all. So this is about Tyler and his dad going fishing, and we're trying to look at how many fish they caught in all. We know that they caught 15 sand bass, and we know that they caught 12 garfish. What's important is this word and. 15 sand bass and 2 garfish. So this lets me know that I'm going to put those together. I'm going to join them together to add them together. So that's how I know what operation I should choose. Okay, so I'm going to join groups of different sizes. So I'm going to add. The 15 plus the 12 gives me the 15 sand bass and the 12 garfish. And I need to understand that these numbers represent something. This represents the bass, the number 15, and the 12 represents the garfish. And I need to understand that when I'm looking at numerical expressions, this is 15 and 12, or 15 plus 12. When I put them together, I join these groups of numbers, the 15 and the 12. That's how many fish they caught in all. And that is all I need to do. 15 plus 12 represents what they caught in all. I don't need to put an equal sign or anything like that. Let's look at the examples with the 4 operations that we're accustomed to seeing: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, none of these examples have questions attached to them. We just want to know what expression matches the words. Write a numerical expression. Emma has 11 fish in her aquarium. She buys 4 more. So it's Emma with her fish. We know that she has 11 fish right now. That's what she has right now, so that's what we start with. She buys 4 more. I'm going to look at this word, buys 4 more fish. When I'm buying something, am I adding to what I already have, or am I taking away from what I have, or am I sharing, or those things? So I'm thinking about the word buys, and I know that I'm adding to what I already have. So she's adding to what she has. 11 plus 4. This 11 represents the fish she has right now. Okay, this is the fish she has right now. What she has right now. The 4 is more fish, right? Because she's going to buy more. So the 4 represents more fish. Okay, let's look at a subtraction example. Lucille has 128 stamps. She uses 38 stamps on party invitations. Where we're going to, again, look at what we know is happening now. She has 128. That's how many stamps she has right now. Until these things happen, until she uses, so I want to look at that word, uses, until she uses 38. When I use something, I'm taking away from what I have, so I'm going to subtract. So the 128 are the stamps she has right now, right? It's like the other problem. This is what she has now. Until something else happens. This happened. She used 38 stamps, and this 38 represents the used stamps. That's how many she used. Okay. Let's look at the multiplication example. In the multiplication example, Carla buys 5 books. Each book costs $3. So I'm going to look at Carla. What is Carla doing? Buying 5 books. She bought 5 books, so that's what's happening now. Each book costs $3. So for every book, she's going to spend $3. So 5 times 3. So I'm looking at each book. I have to be careful with the word each, because each does not always mean multiplication. I have to look at the problem and what it's asking. Okay, each book costs $3. So 5 represents the books she buys. That's what the 5 represents. And 3 represents the cost per book. So this would technically be $3, and that would be the cost per book, right? Now let's look at a division example. 4 players share 52 cards equally. What I know is that there are 52 cards to be shared. So I'm going to start with 52. And I need to share them equally. So when I share something, so I'm going to, am I taking away from what I had? Am I adding to what I have? Am I going to split it up? So I'm thinking about splitting it up when I'm dividing. So I'm splitting up the 52 card among 4 players. So I'm going to divide. 52 represents the cards. That's what 52 is. And 4 represents the players. Okay? Now, when I look at the expression as a whole, like for all of these expressions, when I look at 52 divided by 4, that expression represents the cards being shared equally among 4 people. That's what that represents, as all of them represent the words that they are describing. Now, let's look at expressions with parentheses. Now we're going to be thinking about the associative property when we're thinking about expressions, and we're thinking about using parentheses with the expressions, okay? And we want to know how to use the words to match an expression. That's what we're doing in these examples. So let's take a look. Doug went fishing for 3 days. Each day he caught 5 fish. At the end of each day, he released 2 fish. How many fish did Doug have at the end of the trip? So Doug is on a fishing trip. We want to figure this out. How many fish does Doug have at the end of the trip? Now remember, we're not actually solving to get an end result, a product, or a quotient, or any of that. We want to get an expression that matches these words. So we have this expression, 3 times 5 minus 2. Here's what we know. That he went fishing for 3 days. That's what we know. Each day he caught 5 fish. Okay, so that's important, that each day he caught 5 fish. At the end of each day, he released 2. Okay, this is the information that we know. Now, I'm going to think about this and how to look at this to see if it matches the word. So, 3 times 5 minus 2. This is saying that 3 days he went fishing. Each day he caught 5 fish. That's 3 times 5. After he did this total, this amount he got, then he's going to release 2 fish. Take 2 fish away from this total. That's what this is saying. 3 times 5 minus 2. He went fishing for 3 days, caught 5 fish. So that's that total, and then he subtracted 2. He released 2 after he caught all the fish for all 3 days. Then he released 2. That doesn't match. Does not. Because that's not what he did. He didn't wait until he caught all the fish and then released 2, because it says at the end of each day he released 2. Every day he released 2. So now if we look over here, 3 times 5 minus 2, this makes more sense because 3 days he went fishing. 3 days. He caught 5 fish and released 2. 3 times. He did that 3 times. 5 minus 2. 5 fish, released 2 on the first day. Caught 5 more on the second day, released 2. Caught 5 more on the third day, released 2. He did that 3 times. So this action of catching 5 fish and releasing 2 happened 3 times each of the 3 days. So this does match the words. That makes sense. Let's look at another one. We're trying to match these words here to this expression. 20 minus 12 plus 3, and the 12 plus 3 is in parentheses. Kim has $20 to spend on her trip, her fishing trip. She spends $12 on a fishing pole, then she finds $3. How much does she have now? Okay? Now, how much does she have on this fishing trip? What's going to happen? Let's sequence our events. Sequence of events, just like you're doing in reading. What happened first, next, last, okay? First, she has $20 to spend. Then what happens? She spends some of that money. She spends $12 on a fishing pole. So I can put down that she spends $12. That's what she did. Then what happened? She finds $3. So that's what happens next. She finds $3. That's exactly what we put down. we're looking at this and we can say that she had $20, she spent $12, then she finds 3. Let's put parentheses around this problem here. So first, this is what happened first. She had $20 and she spent $12. Then, this is the last action, she found $3. So we group this together first. Then this happened. Keyword then helps me understand that. Now let's look at this one. Kim has $20 to spend for her trip. She spends $12 on a fishing pole and $3 on bait. So she has 20. She spends $12 on a fishing pole and $3 on bait. And, okay, so I'm looking at that word again. And this happened here. So let's put it in order. $20 is what happened first. Okay, that's what she has. She spends $12. This is what she spends, $12. Then she spends $3. That's the order. That's what we see that's happening here. She spends $3. Now, I need to place the parentheses. So when I'm looking at this, Kim has $20 for her fishing trip. That's what she starts out with, okay? She's going to spend $12 and $3 from the total amount of 20. Now, let's look at the words and figure out which one makes sense. Do these expressions match the words, or do this expression match the words? If she has $20 and then she spends $12 and finds $3 versus she has $20, spends $12 and $3, and that's taken away from the total, which one would make more sense? Let's think about that. If we're matching this expression, this one does not make sense. It does not match. However, this one matches. Now, you need to look at our next set of directions, and this takes time. The more practice you get with using numerical expressions, the better you will get at this. If we're looking at our share and show, we need to match the words. Terry has 18 worms. She gave 4 worms to Susie and 3 worms to Jamie. We want to know which one of these matches. So we're thinking about that. Terry had 18 worms. This is how much she had. She gave 4 worms to Susie and 3 worms to Jamie. So we're going to think if you had 18, you gave 4 to one person and 3 to another. Let's see how we can solve this. This is how much you had, 18 you started with. Then you're going to give 4 worms and, that's our key word, and 3 worms. So how are we going to figure out which one of these matches the word? So remember, you started with 18, then something else happened. Start with 18, then you give away 4 and 3. So that's your 4 plus 3. That's what you're going to add. So you should have these, okay? This expression. Number 2, Rick had $8. He then worked 4 hours for $5 each, okay? He had $8. He then worked for 4 hours at $5 each hour, okay? $8, then 4 hours for $5 each hour. And we're thinking about, this is what we started with, $8. And then this action happened, 4 times 5, which would be 4 hours for $5 at each hour. Okay? Just takes practice. The more you practice it, the better you'll become at reading the words. Now, when you get to this next section, you're going to pay attention to my arrows because the directions change, and I want you to pay attention to that. And we're not going to be selective today. We're going to do all of the problems front and back because we need that much practice. The more you practice, the better you will be. This says to write an expression, okay, to match the words. That means you're going to write the numbers. Here, you have to write words to match this expression. So now you're flipping it around. So let's look at number 5. Write words to match the expression. 34 minus 17. So you can say, you know, Jan had 34 seashells and she gave 17 away. You see what I'm saying? So that would match 34 minus 17.